What is up, guys? My name is Jose Dominic, and I have been working as a software engineer for the past 3 years. And in this video, we're going to be talking about some of the things that you should be doing as a fresher if you are looking for a job. And these are the things that I've learned from my experience, and this is what I would be doing right now if I were a fresher. So with that out of the way, let's get straight into the video. Okay, guys, so the first thing that I want you guys to do if you are a fresher and you're looking for a job as a software developer is to get a good knowledge of the fundamentals of computer science, and especially topics such as operating systems, relational database management systems, which is RDBMS, networking, and data structures and algorithms. So the knowledge of these topics is very essential for you to get a job as a software engineer, because sometimes people, even though you're a fresher, people will be asking these topics in the interviews. And let me just give more context about each of these topics that I mentioned in detail. So the first thing that I mentioned is operating systems. So operating systems means the software that runs on top of the hardware of the computer. That is, for example, Windows is an operating system, Linux is an operating system, and we have Mac OS. So what this software in this operating system does is it does things like process management, memory management, thread management, and things like that. So you need to have a basic understanding of these concepts. So just try to go online and learn about these topics, okay? So the next thing is, what did I say? I think relational database management system. So you need to have an understanding of how databases work, especially RDBMS, that is databases like SQL, how data is stored in the database, how to do basic queries like joins and stuff like that. It is essential to have knowledge on these parts. So learn about RDBMS, okay? And the next thing is, I think networking. Yeah. So what are the different communication protocols? How do computers communicate to each other? Layers of networking, things like that. If you just go out on YouTube and search about networking principles, basics, you'll get the idea. So just learn about that, all right? And the next one, and this is very important, okay? The next topic is data structures and algorithms. So this teaches you things like how to solve problems using different data structures in programming, like arrays, linked lists, then what else? Graphs and things like that. So knowledge on data structures and algorithm is very important. If you are to be cracking the coding tests of companies, you need to have an understanding of data structures and algorithms. So learn these most important topics of computer science and get a basic understanding of these topics when you are a fresher and looking out for a job. So that's the first point I wanted to give you guys. The second thing I want you guys to do when you're looking for a job as a fresher is to increase your problem solving and programming skills. And I'm especially talking about solving problems using coding. So before I told you to get an understanding of data structures and algorithms. So once you do that, start practicing problems on websites like LeetCode or NeetCode. You can also use CodeChef or Codeforces. I've made videos about this topic in my previous videos, so you can check that out. So the point is, you should be able to solve problems using any programming language of your choice. So I've made many videos about competitive programming. I have a few examples on this channel as well. So go check that out and increase your problem solving skills, especially using programming. That is, learn to solve difficult problems using coding. Choose a language. Python is what I recommend if you're a beginner. And go on NeetCode. On NeetCode, you have this top 150 problems. Solve as many of them as you can. Because if you want to crack the placements of certain companies that pay high salaries, they will definitely ask you hard questions. And if you want to solve them, you should have prior experience practicing these problems. So that is one of the things that you must do when you are a fresher, practice solving more coding problems. So that's the second point. Now, the third thing that I would suggest you guys to do is to build real projects. So when you are a fresher, you don't have any experience to show to the company that you're interviewing for. So how can you show that you're skilled? How you can do this is by building projects, by building real applications. So if you're a beginner, what I would suggest is build a web application. Like, it could be a simple web application like a to-do list. It should have a front end with a UI, and it should be connected to a database, and it should have features like create a to-do list, delete, update, and basic features like that. So start with that. So once you build a web application, you will get an idea of how a web application is built in a real world. You will have experience of developing real software. So you don't have to pay for any course or like this for. If you just go on YouTube, you will have tons and tons of tutorial on how to build a web application. Choose any framework language of your choice, but I would suggest pick Node.js. It's easy to learn. It uses JavaScript. You can create the both backend server and the front end using Node.js. So search up the channel. What I used to learn from, the channel that I used to learn from was Traversy Media. I can put the link to that channel in the description. It's a great channel where you have tons of web application development tutorials. So just start with a simple one, like I mentioned, the to-do list, and create as many projects as you can. I mean, not too much, just one to-do list. And another one, if you can build something more complex and put it on GitHub. If you don't have a GitHub account yet and you are a fresher, create a GitHub account and push the code of the projects that you build over there so that it can be displayed on your resume. So this is the third point, guys. Build real projects and showcase them on your resume. This is very impressive when you are a fresher, and this is the only way that you can display your skill to the recruiter when you are still a fresher. So that's the third point. The next thing that I wanted to tell you, again, very, very important, guys, communication skills in English. So whatever interview that you're going for, you will have to talk to the people in English. So if you cannot communicate your ideas properly, no matter how good you are technically, if you cannot communicate properly, you're not going to go far. So do whatever is necessary. If you cannot communicate properly, I'm not saying you have to speak great English, but you should be able to communicate your ideas properly to the other person and also understand what they are saying. Because once you get it, even if you get into the industry and you get a job, technical skills can only take you so far. I would say it's like 30% technical and 70% how much you can convey your ideas to other people. So very important, guys. Do whatever you have to do. I would say read more books. It doesn't have to be any books, until I pick some novels that you like. So as you read more and more books, your vocabulary will increase. That is the number of words that you have knowledge of in English, and you'll be able to speak better English and convey your ideas better to other people. So if necessary, go for damn spoken English classes. Do whatever is necessary, because communication, very, very important, even if you get into the industry. So that's the fourth point. And the fifth point, I mean, this is not applicable to you if you are fortunate enough to be in a college where you have placements, because if you have placements, the companies come to you, right? You already have the opportunity. You don't have to go looking for opportunities. You just have to attend the placements. So if you're in college, yeah, another point that I missed is you need to maintain a good CGPA or whatever percentage or whatever. I don't know what the system is used for grading right now, but in my time it was CGPA. So maintain a decent CGPA so that you do not miss any placements when they come. That is, if some company puts a cutoff on CGPA that you need to have, for example, an 8 out of 10 CGPA to attend the placement, and you don't have an 8, you just miss that opportunity. So at least for that sake, try to study properly and maintain a good CGPA while you are in college. So that is to the people, so that is to anyone who's studying in college. And if you are unlucky and you don't have the opportunity to study in a college where you have placements, then I would suggest is go out there and seek and find opportunities. Go out there on Google and search opportunities for freshers. Go out there on LinkedIn, connect with people, ask people, do you have any opportunities? I have so and so skills. Here's my resume. Please help if you can. Most people will help. So and apply to as many jobs as you can. And finally, at some point, you will get your opportunity. So seek, guys, like if you don't have placements, don't just sit idle. Like get out there and try and connect with as many people as you can. Seek and find the opportunities. That's the fifth point. And coming to the last point, and this is, I would say, is most important. You need the grace of God. No matter how good you are, it doesn't matter how good you are. If you don't have the grace of God, you're not going to make it too far. For any good blessing in life, you need the grace of God. I believe everything good in life comes from above. So stay humble, guys. Remember where the gift comes from. Learn to pray. It's good for you. It's good for your soul. So be humble in front of the Creator and pray. It works. I mean, God will only help you if you ask Him. So yeah, so those are some of the points I wanted to share with you guys today for freshers who are looking for jobs. Hope you were able to get something of value from today's video. So that's it for this video, guys. Yeah, we'll see you in the next video. God bless.